Welcome to the Sparky Coach podcast. This platform was built by Sparkies for Sparkies. We simply exist to make business owners more profitable, or businesses more profitable and more predictable. So we want to work with people that work hard because we love working hard too, that work smart because you got to be on top of the business, people that are kind because no one likes a dickhead. Am I right? People who want results because that's what we're here for, right? And people who want to be part of a like-minded community. So if you're interested in hearing more about the platform, please reach out and enjoy the podcast.
Hey, so we're going to be talking about Simpro today. We're going to be doing a run through of Simpro, the program, pros and cons of Simpro, how I use it, and different things like that. We're going to go through the desktop, we're going to go through digital forms, and we're also going to go through the mobile, Simpro mobile, and different pieces like that. So I'm going to share my screen. We go. Okay. So this is Simpro. Okay. Simpro is a hell of a program. It's a full-on program. Take a little bit to set up, but once it's set up and everything's organized, it's great. The details it gives you, the breakdown it gives you, the ability to run mini projects inside jobs and stuff like that, like through the cost center basis and the pre-builds and all that kind of stuff, allows you to tackle bigger projects and be more organized on bigger projects. Okay. So I'm going to run through the layout of Simpro, show you roughly about different things in it, different things and how we use it, and then I'll run you through different jobs and stuff. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to clear the decks on what we've got happening. Okay, so Simpro. Down on the left-hand side here, you put your home button on the top, which takes you to your dashboard. You can have service data, account, sales, different kind of dashboards. I generally just run the project dashboard. Everyone runs different dashboards depending on what they're doing. But projects dashboard is generally where I live. Downside here, you've got people, leads, quotes, jobs, reoccurring, schedule, materials, invoicing, tasks, and then back-end stuff down here. Okay, Simpro obviously syncs with Xero. So all the invoices and everything go through to there. Then you've got the wholesale integration does, so how it integrates with a whole heap of different wholesalers. So like you can import from all these wholesalers directly without any fuss. You literally just sign in with your account and away it goes. And it's nice and easy. And then you can create POs and stuff and all that. You get sent to jobs and added in everything like that. You can see a lot of electrical ones, plumbing ones and stuff in there as well. The three main we use are Set Manager, CNW, and TLE because they're our local ones. So that's just the things we use. And yeah, so the dashboard, you've got obviously all your customers and clients and stuff that you can add in. Your employees can be added in here with license numbers and all that stuff. So it reminds you when licenses are due and all that, which is great. Then you've got leads. A lot of you can Zapier like forms and stuff into the lead section. We don't use the leads a lot. That's just we haven't set it up that way. But we don't get a lot of online inquiries and stuff like that for our business. So then after that, you've got quotes. When you open your quotes, you've got all your quotes down here that you've got sitting, whether progress, completed, approved, or whatever. I'll show you how to create a quote from start to finish in a minute. Then you got jobs. And when you click over, you've obviously got pending, progress, completed, invoiced, and archived. Pending jobs are ones that haven't been invoiced or done anything with. Progress are ones that have been scheduled. And then complete are ones that are ready to invoice and stuff like that. Okay. So where you're looking at who that is there, and then you got reoccurring for your jobs like test and tags, smoke alarms, your bag cleans for your aircon, your solar panel cleans, your routine maintenance kind of stuff if you've got any industrial project, and all that. Infrared thermal camera imaging and all that kind of stuff can go in there. Now, this is essential. I run predominantly day. I know guys that like to run the weeks, but the problem with the weeks, you can only see one technician at a time. Whereas with the day one, you see all the technicians for that day, so you can shuffle things around here and there, whatever you need to. Okay, then is all in there. You've got your month view, your project view, or manual, and so you can look at different jobs and so forth. When we've got now our material section, you've got catalog, pre-builds, takeoff templates, stock text. Now, this section here, for me, is where Simpro is huge. With the POs, the pre-builds, the takeoff templates that go into ground plan and all that kind of stuff. It's next level in that regard. Okay. So obviously catalog, all your items are in there. You can sync it with your supplier. And then it gets automatically put it in there and it'll update pricing. And like, because we can go into here, like let's just go, we have a CLI 4025. Okay. An iconic PowerPoint. And we can see the prices in here. Okay. 4025 V dub. No. Oh, sorry. 3. You want 3025. Well, iconic PowerPoint. Should make a lot more sense. So like you can click onto here. Let's find the PowerPoint. Extra switch. Cover 15 amp. Yeah, we can just go into 15 amp. And then we can go into supply and we can see the pricing for the two suppliers. We can add a supplier to CNW. Okay, and the CNW will come up in there too. Okay. Boom. So that way you can see different prices and stuff available from different wholesalers, which comes into play when you start doing quotes and takeoffs and all that stuff. Then you've got your pre-builds. Now, your pre-builds are a price list item where you can do things like that. So like we've got it broken down into different categories for different types of work we do, like level 2 EV charges, projects and service. You can have it as detailed or as less detailed as you want. It's up to you. Then inside that, so to create a pre-build is pretty simple. Just go into service and we'll create a pre-build. The beauty of this is that you can categorize it, you can organize it into different things. Like we've got service, and then inside that we've got lights, and then inside that we have owner supplied. Inside that we have oysters, we have downlights, we have dimmers, switches, all that kind of stuff in different categories. But to create a pre-build, it's pretty simple. You just name it. Okay. Let's go. We're on service, so we'll do our stake replacement. Replacement. Deploy and replace existing stake with new unit and test. Okay. Description. So if we want to, this is our build here of the items that we have got. To add items into the build, you just go catalog, and then we just go Earth Rod, I think it's under. In your stock here, any red is one you haven't used, green is one you've used. Okay. you click and add it like that, and then we can add sundries as those. Okay, and then that's our build. That's our items, our catalog items in the build. Now we can go back to details. You can add an image or whatever if you want in there, part number, notes, whatever you want to do, add it to your favorites. All good. Down here is your pricing for your labor and your pricing breakdown. So time, do it based on defaults as if you have a time set for a catalog item. So like if there's like a PowerPoint, for instance, you can add 10 minutes to that cable, something like per meter, so forth. Or you can just break it down like that. So to replace it, we can go like 60 minutes, 1 hour. Okay. And then based on the defaults, we're selling at 40% of our material costs. And that's our cost per hour and total price. Then over here, total labor price, sorry. And over here, you've got a breakdown of the whole pre-built. You have the materials, the labor, markup on both, the profit, the margin. Then you've got excluding GST and including GST amounts. You can also, if you have a flat rate pricing, enter a flat rate in there, and you can go down that route. And then once you've done that, you can click Save and Finish, and it'll create that part in there. Okay. You can add as many subgroups and stuff, however you want to do it for the materials. The next big thing is your stock and stock takes. Okay. You can create a stock take for every vehicle, everything you own, every storage device. Okay. So like we can jump into here, let's just go into the iLoad. We can see on hand that Transcot 350 Cat6, one wall plate with an open thing, C-clips, everything in there. So this will come to play when you're scheduling jobs and figuring out where you're getting gear from. Now, this is only as accurate as the guys that allocate and put jobs on stock on the phone. Okay. It's not completely auto. It requires people to manually allocate items to jobs on site. If they don't do that properly, it will throw numbers out pretty quick. But what we can do is we can set minimum and restock levels. So let's just say for here, we've got a solid duct. We can go, cool, minimum stock levels 2, and we want Trent to restock at 1. Okay. That will then give us a notification to say that Trent's low on stock on this item, and we can create a order for the stock from there. Okay. Also tell you how many days in stock, total value of all the stock, and that stuff from there. You can click restock. Okay. Restock. Where would you like to restock this order device from? So a purchase order, we can go restock. And then if we had any items in there that were out on numbers, we just restocked them the other day, so it's not going to be. You'd hope. It would do a full list down here, and we can send that off to a wholesaler. Okay, that's stocking and stock take. The other thing is POs, purchase orders, and supplier quotes. Amazing. You can create a PO in the job, send it to the supplier, and they will link it up automatically. Okay. And then it just calls moving received, and then it's automatically added onto the job. Invoices are all there, so you can see unpaid invoices when they're due. Okay. When they were issued and when they were due is all there. And you got paid, payments, credits, retentions, all that kind of stuff. Orders is in there, and tasks, so different tasks. You can create tasks for picking up gear, dropping off gear, all that kind of stuff. Then different templates, all back-end stuff, reports, and all that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is basically just going to go through a quote. Okay. To create a quote, we go up here. We'll go create new project quote. Service quotes will just give you one cost center. a project quote will give you options to add multiple cost centers. So this is where it's a little bit different, because if we look here, I haven't done that one yet. If we have a look here at this center, like this here is a service quote. This is one cost center. Got labor and materials in one cost center. But if we go over to a project like the Pilates here, we've got stage one. Stage one's not going to be helpful to us because it's only got one. Let's go stage two. We've got different cost centers. So we've broken it all down into each one. Each one's got lighting, emergency power, heater panels. You can break it down however you like, add whatever items in, and go like that. So this is a quote that we used. So I'll just do an example. Creating quotes pretty simple. You just go quote into the details and add the quote in that way. So this is a job we quoted for an add-on to a Pilates. They're adding a hot yoga studio onto a Pilates, that kind of stuff. In here we've got attachments. Okay. So you can have a look at the quote, the plan that's been attached. Okay, so the hand-drawn plan by a builder we've done into ground plan and then ground plan into Simpro on this. Okay, so that's the example they get from that. We can attach and allocate, send that through. So in our project, we have a project overview. We can see what materials. Okay, we've got per cost center and all that. We can also see resources, so labor and time that we've added per cost center in there, and then the adjustments we want to make. Okay, so we can click into a cost center and we can see that we've got 8 downloads, 20 sockets, so forth, so forth. Okay. This is a reason because the client, we've broken down into there. Now, inside your cost center, you can break it down with whole heap of pre-built, which we have on this scenario here. So that's a labor and materials kind of cost center. This is a pre-build cost center where we've got all our pre-builds set in our items. Okay. Same deal, all the items are in there, and then each is a pre-build, so we've just got quantities of plans and so forth. Same deal in here with a pre-built cost center. It's got all the items that we need to order. Okay. And stuff like that. So let's say, for instance, let's just go back to open quotes and we will copy this one. Demo. We'll go next. Okay. What we can do once you've done it all, and you go, we'll go save. To send it over to the client, we go forms. In here, there's a whole heap of default ones. You can go like itemized with prices and all that kind of stuff. You can also set up custom ones and default ones. This is just the default. Doesn't look super nice. So we've got a custom form made, okay, which breaks it down just a little bit easier to digest and nicer. So this is a custom one straight out of the we haven't done anything. We just clicked on it. We haven't entered the numbers, get automatically entered. All that kind of stuff. We scroll down and everything's all there. And good to go. Okay, prices are all in there, and we can click and send. Okay, finish, close. We can email it over. It's in there, and we can email that over. Okay, once they accept the job, what we can do is we go to convert to a job. Okay. Once we're here, we can go now project overview. Okay. We can go materials. Okay. We can select all materials if we want from all of it. So let's say we've won a big tender. We've got our prices from a wholesaler. Okay, but we want to check it pricing with other wholesalers. We can go click here, select all, and go create supply quote. Okay. These will get divvied up per whatever. Okay. Open supply quote, and then we can go supplier. We can go TLE. For instance, and click save. Okay. TLE. And then we can go date issued, and we can email that over. So we can go finish and then email it over, which is cool. You've also got, you can order POs out of here. So you can go like order, okay. So materials, stages. You can set up stages like first fix and that per item. So you can order per like cable brackets and different orders. Okay. All stages, and you can click create purchase order. You can go into here, stock, okay, that create a purchase order that way. Or we can go back into cost center. And go, yeah, so purchasing stages, all stages based on supplier. And then click create purchase order. It'll bring all the items in, okay? Then we can just click finish, send it over. So you can go like finish. Yeah, create more than one purchase order. Oh, because sundries. Sundries isn't there. Sundries is not a catalogable item. So you can remove those. Oh, you can remove essential energy ones. Okay, we can go type. So you can like cheapest consolidated order. Okay, we can go apply, and then it's all from TLE. Or you can go cheapest overall order, and it will split it between what wholesalers are the cheapest on those items. Okay, so yeah, change some to Z, some to C&W, some to TLE, some to Voltex. Okay, or you can change it to TLE. Once you've done that, you can go finish. Okay, it'll create a purchase order. Add the email address in there, click send, purchase order gets sent over. Once that's filled, that'll automatically get dumped onto the job. Okay. Finish. That'll automatically get dumped onto the job. What we can also do is we go save and finish to schedule the job. We can schedule it, let's just say, let's just dump it onto Joe. So we go click across center, lighting, do. Okay. Cost center, okay. And then it'll get dumped onto my phone schedule. It will. So if we go into here, go into Simpro Mobile, you'll see it'll update a little bit and then it'll bring the jobs in that we've got for the day. Okay, so we click on the job that we've just scheduled to us. We can start travel to it. We can also click on that little button down here. It'll quick close is not an address, so it won't take it to us, but you can open Google Maps and all that kind of stuff. Once we've arrived, okay, we can click start work and it'll automatically bring us over to a JSA that we've got set up. Just as a pre-audit. It'll automatically set it up. We go next. And then you just go through and click our pre-audit and all that kind of stuff. Okay. No. Next. Yes. Let me just sign. Okay. All sent over, so that's good to go. So then we will come into here and you can see what it is. We can also access attachments, so we can look at plans. We can open up plans inside Simpro. So you can look at that or whatever details and stuff on that plan. We can also add, like take photos of the job. If you take photos through Simpro, it'll ask you for a file name, or you can take photos in your camera and then just go and click attach photos. Okay, and you can add as many as you like from there. Cool. As you can go down through, You can audit assets, job notes. You can get them to write job notes with a script inside here. If you want, for us, we use a different program for job notes. We use Simpro Digital Forms. Okay, Simpro Digital Forms is a whole heap of different. You can create as many forms, whatever you like in there. It's a little bit like safety culture or iAuditor or job form in that regard. But then for this, so we can do our job notes. We find our job ID. Okay. Oh, we might need to sync it. Discard yes. So we'll just sync it up because we created a new job today. We'll just sync it up. But normally, if it's done overnight, the guys will just appear on it for them. Cool. That'll do. Boom. And then we go next. Okay. And we fill out our job notes. All through there, yes. And all that. That gets done. No. NA. You can make mandatory ones too, by the way. Do we need to go back to site? Yes. Any possible works for the future? Yes. And then description. Okay, photos, 89. And next. And then it gets automatically added to the job. Okay. That'll automatically get submitted to the job. Okay, and then it'll all appear in there. In your digital forms, you can also do things like we've got a test report of safety, certificate of compliance, an accident report, pre-purchase inspection, an on-site quote, RCD test with capture, smoke alarms, all that kind of stuff. You can add as many different reports as you want in there, build it all out. And then once it's all completed, it'll show in here. So I've got a job note form here. We can view it. This is what it looks like on the PDF. Okay. That's the job notes based out from what it is. Go back to another one like installation test report. So filters out in like different circuits and stuff like that. And then once they've done that, they jump back into here, scroll down, they add any stock that they may need to put in. They can also create any purchase orders from their phone. If they have to go on a job and get it like a supplier, okay, they can create a purchase order. Boom. And it automatically gets signed to that person's storage device. You can also have a look at job overview, so any description or anything, you can visual that. Work history at this site, so you can see if there's any history related to the site on there. Any tasks and stuff like that. A whole guys use the tasks in a whole different way. There's a guy that uses tasks for job notes and all that kind of stuff. But once you've done all that, you go review and finish. Do time. It'll make you do post audits. Okay. And then this is basically just a checklist at the end of the day to make sure everything's sorted. That kind of stuff. Anything that you can set it up in a way where it won't allow answers. And it'll make them go back and do it again or alert them. Okay. Done. So not that one. Done. Okay. Once that's all done, you've done your audits. You can in and out your time. You can edit the job card and go back up to the top here and change the time. Like let's say the guys checked in or a day, well, let's say from there to 2 to 5 p.m. or whatever, and normal time. Okay. Done. Scroll down the bottom. Review and finish. If they are having lunch on a site, they can pause work. Okay. And do unchargeable time. Okay, and then we can go back in and then we can start work. Start work again. Boom. Kicks over like that. Then we can go down here, review, finish task. All there. You can technician sign off. Save customer sign off if you want. And they can set it to whatever. Boom. Stop work and finish. Boom. Done. That'll send it out of here and then send it back to Simpro. We reload this now. This will job moved from there to there because that's where it was. And then if we go into jobs, completed jobs, it will appear here. Okay. And we can access that. We can look at the attachments. We can look at the photos they've added. The JSA and QAs are in there as well. So we can view them. Okay. We can view any photos we've added. That kind of stuff. Then once you get done there, you can go save and finish. And you can go invoice if you need to. What you can do is change it to a progress claim or a tax invoice, whatever you can do. If you're doing a progress claim for the whole thing, so it's 50%. Boom. 50% for everything. And then we go finish. And we can send it off that way. Send, attach any items we want to go with that invoice. And then we click send. Okay. That's a basic overview of a job. If we look at the job part itself, very similar to the quote side. You got the project overview with all that. You've got the invoices, the orders, contractors, all that kind of stuff. You've got variations and link variations. These are very handy. So you can add a variation directly onto the job, or you can do it if you got to do an external quote. You can create one from there and do it from over. On here, details, you've got a very basic breakdown. Now, the details are as accurate on here as if you've set your parameters correctly inside Simpro. So your cost of ops is set correct, your wages are set correct, and everything like that is set correct. These numbers should match the close of the week and open jobs. If they don't, that's probably the offset, really. But you can see here that materials, we've got that much sitting on a PO that's not in yet because the PO hasn't been received. Resources, labour, costs, markup, margin, profit, all that kind of stuff. Now, if you are filling out the spreadsheet, okay, you over here close the week or open jobs, you pick up your materials cost from here and your labour hours from here. Now, obviously, the labour hours will just tally because it doesn't discriminate between tradie and apprentice on Simpro. So you just have to split that yourself. Okay. There's a report you can run in Simpro, but I'm not 100% sure which that one is. I know Cam does it and Michael does it. Then, yeah, you follow all the numbers through there. So, like, if we look at a job that's not a demo job, one that's had several trips and so forth. So let's have a look at Natalie's here, for instance. You can see material cost, resources cost, labour, hours, that kind of stuff in total, and then net profit. Okay, that's showing red because it's less than what the estimated is. That would be because it was quoted and prices have changed on materials or labour's been spent longer. Yeah, see, labour's a little bit longer. then in the estimate. So that'll throw out our overhead costs and our resource costs and all that kind of stuff. Okay, but you can see it from there, and then we can go like into project overview. We can see what orders have been placed on a job, the value of them, what invoices have been sent to the job, and the value of those. Resources, how many hours have been spent per section, that kind of stuff. You can do a Gantt chart if you really want. It's up to you. Length variations, there's no varies on this one. But yeah, that's a brief overview of Simpro. It's not a full-on overview. But yeah, that was Simpro does. Pros and cons of Simpro is pretty obvious. It's a very detailed program. Setup time is huge on it to get it correct and right. Upfront cost is probably up there, depending on what you're doing. You do have the training, which I think is about $3-4 grand. I don't remember. And then you've got the monthly costs. So Simpro does it per user, whereas some others do per job or other things like that. It's per user cost. A certain amount for the office, a certain amount for the phone, and then a certain amount for digital forms. It's varies slightly between different people, but it's roughly $29 for digital forms each and $29 for mobile, and then 100 and something for desktop access. So you're limited by the number of users by how much you pay. It's totally up to you. Also, it'll give you notifications up here if anything. There you go. On the Ranger. And that kind of stuff. You can do jobs down there. Pros for it is obviously the PO system, the supplier order system. That you can order off your quote straight away and it gets sent to your wholesaler and so forth. You can send different quotes to wholesalers and get money back, like figure out who's cheaper where. Then you have the project, the cost center side of it. They're able to link variations and do different variations on those on projects. Service is good, recurring jobs is good. It's a little bit more to get your head around than some programs. It takes a little bit for the guys to get used to using the two apps for service Simpro on the phone, the digital forms and the mobile. That's just teething issues. The guys will figure that out. Picked it up quite well and fairly quickly, which is nice. But yeah, that's a brief overview of Simpro. Obviously, you can dive way deeper into it in different reports and different forms and how you build this and how you build that. But that's just an overview of what it's like and how to use it. You can use different third-party automations and stuff to get things into by default. Obviously, it syncs with GroundPlan, which is amazing. So some other softwares don't sync with GroundPlan. If you do a lot of projects and stuff, GroundPlan and Simpro sync is just amazing. Saves so much time in quoting, all that kind of stuff. Brilliant. And then the digital forms, the fact that you can create any form you want. If you need help with fancy forms and stuff like that, they have consultants that can do it for you. If you need a form to look exactly like a form, like on paper copies, like if you need a form to look exactly like something like that, they can build that out on their system. Otherwise, it will look a little bit generic, which is cool. We use them all the time. Then the audits are great. The stock take's great. You can have assets that you can allocate to people, so you can assign like ladders and tools and stuff with an asset number and allocate that to certain tradies, check it in, check it out of the jobs, and that item can have a cost associated with it. But yeah, apart from that, Simpro is a brilliant program. We love using it. We've used it a fair bit. If you have any questions or anything about Simpro or how to use it, hit us up. I know how to use it quite well. Cam knows how to use it really well. There's a few other guys out there that know how to use it pretty good. So yeah, that is Simpro. Any questions? Give us a call or a message on here, and we will work through with you. Thank you.
That's a wrap on another podcast. Whatever you're doing, don't be too busy to stop and check if you're making money. And above all else, you know the rules, be kind. See you soon.